Yo, yo, what is wrong? I'm just pranking you guys. This website, it's pretty cool. But anyway, I have VirtualBox right here. I'm loading a bunch of different Windows installs like Tiny11 and all that, and we're going to be comparing them. Right, so far I'm installing Tiny11 Pro right now, and I also need to install now Windows X Lite. Defender off, Defender off. Let's do Defender off. I'm going to let this do this in the background. See, what actually sucks is that these two have just been loading for a long time. Now it's the next day. I did turn off my computer, turn it back on, did whatever, blah, 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 and I've let this running. Frick virtual machines. I'm going to try this on actual hardware. I'm going to load this on Ventoy, and we're going to get it working. All right, and these are the final choices for the ISOs. Plug this guy in here. Ventoy is so easy. You literally just grab these guys, and you just drag them into your folder. All right, so these both should be the same model of computers with the same specs. So they both should have like 2 gigabytes of RAM and 32 gigabytes of storage. But anyways, it should be the same. This is just purely for testing reasons. But just so you guys know the hardware. Pretty sure, yeah, they should still work. Well, I only found one charger readily available around. Maybe the other one I have lying around somewhere. But anyways, I have this universal power supply that I'm just going to use. I do low-key have like a ton of options available here, but some of them are duplicates. I just need to find whichever one fits in the port. All right, so I did find this yellow one that does go like this, and it also does fit inside of the port here. Turn it around without making it fall. Let's try F2 and escape. Let's just, oh, one of them did work. Okay, let's set up the boot stuff. Let's move all the USBs above the Windows Boot Manager and the eMMC disk. Ooh, looks like we got Grub on here. Oh wait, this might have been the one. I used to have like a Linux install on this that I used to run off a USB that was connected to this computer. So I had a Grub set up on here. And then let's set all these guys. I don't know which one it's gonna be, so I'm just gonna put all of them up there. So it did turn out I already had Tiny11 Pro installed on my Ventoy. And so I kind of downloaded it for no reason again. Unplug. There we go. On this one, let's do Nano 11. That's installing on there. I'm gonna need to install something on here too, so I need to find another USB or something. Seemingly USB 2.0, probably, hopefully USB with Ventoy already installed, so I need to move the stuff over on this one too. And I'm gonna hit previous version of setup where I can, just in case. Actually, Nano 11 is pretty cool. It literally shows on here. Install now. Low-key, I am kind of stupid, because why don't I just like optimize which ISOs go on which USB instead of putting all 4 on one if I need to use a second one? That doesn't make any sense. I already still have backup on my main thing, so that's fine. To make it realistic, I'm going to keep location on, but I'm going to turn off Find My Device, turn off diagnostic data, turn off inking and typing, turn off personalized offers, boom. And then we'll just accept it like this. So this is Nano 11 running, and Tiny 11 is getting installed on there. So this is Nano 11, and upon boot, it looks like there's something called post setup. I'm on a local account and I do not have the internet connected, so it's not necessarily downloading anything in the background. So we'll just leave it on the default drivers, whatever it does right now, without updating it, which keep in mind, upon adding updates and all that, it is going to use up more storage. It is going to use up more of a lot of stuff. So look at post setup, and it looks like in Nano 11, we have OS tweaks, install software. Here, let me guess, there's probably going to be Google in here, isn't there? A lot of scripts, I guess, set up for you, which is pretty cool. But let's check how the task managers look at Mike. I'm assuming that as it boots more and everything, it's going to end up using less of everything. So we're using, it says 1.1 gigabytes of RAM. And we are using, oh, it just went to 102% per second. I'm guessing that maybe this will die down like after everything is finished. See, Windows modules, installer, whatever. So anyways, it's gonna take a really, really long time to install all the updates and everything. And I'm not even connected to the Wi-Fi. So let's see how much storage it's using up. So pre-updates, it looks like 15 gigabytes of storage. If I turn on the internet access and it's gonna start updating stuff, it might use several extra gigabytes for updates, or it might just use a few. I don't know, it kind of depends just on the computer and all that. It did automatically do dark mode on Nano 11. This right here is Tiny 11, it just booted. And look at this, it's light mode and it doesn't have that post setup scripts. I am also not connected to the internet on here. It is also a local account. So pre-update install. Bruh, it looks like Tiny 11's actually even better. And I don't even know which Tiny 11 version this is because I just downloaded Tiny 11 25H2 from archive.org. So I don't know if this is the core version or not. So Nano 11 now is only using 1 gigabyte of RAM. Well, when I look at Tiny 11 here, it's using like 1.3, even it says 1.5 there. So I mean, Nano 11 does use up less RAM, but Tiny 11 uses less storage. But Nano 11 does have these post setup command things already built in there, which I do think is pretty neat. Now let's test out the next thing. Actually, a lot of people don't know this and it's pretty neat. So if you just press the Windows, and it's kind of hard to do this because I only have one hand, but you're gonna be holding left shift And then you're going to left click while holding left shift on the power. Keep holding left shift and press restart, and then you should be good now. But basically, it's going to boot up. You're going to see in a second. After that, it's going to automatically boot into this. I can boot to USB by going to use a device. And oh no, which one is it? Let's guess it's going to be USB HDD. Oh, it actually was right. Okay. So now the next thing we have to install on this one is going to be Windows X Lite on this one. And now on this right one, we're going to do the same thing, except now Superlight, Windows 11 Superlight Edition. I don't know which version of Windows that necessarily is. Let's hope it's 25H2. Here is the Windows X Lite booting on this one. Also, y'all, please check out my Discord. It's called Smart PC Club. The link will be somewhere. Please join. Defender off. Oh, and look at this one. So this is Windows Superlight. Actually kind of cool. It's like this purplish tint. All right, so Windows 11 Superlight does not seem to bypass some of the Windows 11 stuff. But let's see if I can make something happen. All right, I'm following the tutorial that's listed on archive.org. It's still giving me this. Let me try some magic. All right, to not disappoint you guys, I decided I went on archive.org. I found a random simplified Windows V2. It says Windows 11 Pro and Windows 11 in there. So we're gonna test to see what it actually is. Anyways, look, I got Windows X Lite to like finally load. So for some reason, there's nothing here like other apps in the taskbar. It's just the Windows logo thing. And then here, extras plus info. Let's see. Oh, why is my cursor? It's not the regular cursor. So wallpapers, info, shortcuts, guides, Microsoft Store installer. All right, so it looks like they already have like things to install on here. Like let's say web browser installers. Yeah, yo, I'm using like less than 6 gigabytes of space. Wait, I just realized the background looks like a rip-off Windows. Like we were using 1 gigabyte RAM, it says there. And this one is showing as Windows 11 Pro 25H2. Well, okay, so this looks a little bit different than normal. And look at that. That does look different for some reason. Like that does not look standard to me. I don't know why. I don't know if I'm just making stuff up or not. This is definitely one of the more non-regular Windows ones. Now it is time to install the forbidden Simplify Windows V2. Non-English text. All right, so I'm gonna try my best. Did everything else, it configured everything else for me. One thing I realized is that upon boot, the taskbar is aligned to the left already. Looks like we have some sort of control panel icon and disconnect the Ventoid drive already because I don't need it plugged in. There we go. Okay, so we're using essentially 7 gigabytes of space. Looks like it's just control panel. This is 22H2. I have no clue why that says what the block. So upon putting it to translator, this is just like kind of like the manufacturer called the what the block. It's interesting. Or follow, please, and I would appreciate it. One thing I do want to clarify is that, as I've said in the video, that as a result of like updating it and like a bunch of stuff and installing proper drivers, software that you would use and more software, all of that, it is probably going to use up more space and more RAM. So this is just kind of like a base install of like a local accounts on these things. And that doesn't even account fully installing for all the drivers. So just keep that in mind. And that might also change the performance of the system too. All right. So anyways, that was the video. Please like, subscribe, follow, please, and I would appreciate it.